Hello, welcome to another video, last video of 2021, and today we are talking about my 2022 goals. Basically, my approach to 2022 is quality over quantity, and I think that summarizes how I feel about most of my goals heading into the new year. I just really want to have a higher quality year and put much less pressure on quantity of a lot of things. And I think another way to summarise the year is that I'm going to be putting a lot more focus and attention on my mental health than I have done before. And I think that needs to happen. If you've been around on my channel for the last year, then you'll know that 2021 has been a weird year for me. And it's been a year that I had a bit of a breakdown. I ended up being signed off work, I took some time out, I started my antidepressants, I have been doing these courses and classes and therapies and webinars and such, and I'm still working on it, and I'm still gonna be working on it into 2022. So these goals very much come with a pinch of look after yourself. So with that in mind, let's talk about what some of my real goals for the year are. As a booktuber, the first goal that I need to talk about is my Goodreads goal. And let me just check here. Yeah, 0. I am not setting a Goodreads goal in 2022. When I had my bit of a meltdown, I stopped tracking my reading entirely. I stopped using Goodreads, I stopped using Corepile. So yeah, Goodreads is one that I think I'm probably just gonna phase out of using. I'm not gonna set a goal. I'm just not gonna do it. My goal last year was 72. I hit that, that's fine. Realistically, I will probably be somewhere between 50 and 100 for sure, but I'm just not gonna set a goal because I need to, again, pinch some self-care in there. And one of the things for me is don't put pressure on yourself, don't put too much expectation, and don't force yourself to do something. So therefore, my Goodreads goal in 2022 is going to be 0. And we'll see how that goes. I'm just full on not going to set one, probably not going to track my reading on Goodreads at all. I will likely use Corepile again, but I think I'm going to massively simplify Corepile to just month read, name of book, name of author, Corepile rating, score. I'm going to get rid of all the extra things that it tracks, because I think that's how it became a bit overwhelming for me, especially when I was in depression land. So I think if I just oversimplify that to just name of book and rating and the month I read it in, I'll be fine. Maybe I'll keep genre, maybe not though, we'll see. But I think that will help because it just got to a point where filling in Corepile became a bit overwhelming for me. So there's that. There may not be much for me to track next year, and I am a-okay with that. Next, on the vibe of quality over quantity, something that I really want to prioritise next year is getting through more of the chunky adult fantasies. There are some big books that my heart is calling out for me to read. There are some chunky series that I would like to start or progress with, or any of that. There are 2 videos coming your way in the new year. One of those is my top 10 fantasy priority TBR, same as the year before, so there will be a top 10 of those. And there's also going to be a top 10 fantasy sequels to read. So that's going to be 20 books that I desperately want to read this year. And they're all going to be chunkier adult fantasies, but it's really where I'm going with my reading at the minute. You'll see those lists and you'll know what I mean. But yeah, I'm gonna prioritise those chunky adult fantasies that I desperately want to get to and that I know I'm gonna love. Because again, quality over quantity. If it's a chunky book but it takes me 2 weeks to read it, but it ends up being 5 stars and I love it, perfect. Amazing. Love that for me. So yeah, chunky adult fantasies and their sequels. For example, my top 10 from last year, I'm probably going to want to read the sequels to most of those. So keep an eye out for those videos. They will be coming within the next couple of weeks, I think. So keep an eye out for those. And on the topic of having videos to keep your eye out for in the next couple of weeks, something I've actually got in here is being better at planning and uploading. Now, if you didn't know about my Patreon, I have a Patreon. I do an Oracle card pull on days where I need it, and I share it on Patreon. And I pulled one the other day that really got me thinking about my work ethic and ways I feel about work, and how I put a lot of energy into passion projects and then less into work. And I was thinking, how could I like move some of that passion into work and get myself excited about things? And this all comes back as well into the depression and getting excited about doing things and putting energy and passion back into everything. But part of that is, I think, YouTube. Sometimes it feels too much like a chore, so I've made it feel a bit more organised. I am terrible with planning. I will not have an upload schedule, do not expect that from me, but I have a spreadsheet for the year of videos that I want to upload, when I would want to do them, and I'm gonna fill it in, and it's a way for me to track what I'm filming, what I'm editing, where my progress is at, if I've got big chunks of empty space, if I've got lots going on and I can spread things out more, just to make me feel a little bit more put together with the YouTube as a job thing. I don't know if this makes any sense with putting passion into it, but just making me feel a little bit more like on top of things. That's what I'm doing. So, not saying there's going to be more content, not saying I'm going to have an upload schedule, none of that. I make none of those sorts of promises to you, but just a bit more of a for me thing, planning, being a little bit more organised, having plans in action, having a way to visualise my progress so that I don't look at myself and think you're a failure, you've not done anything. I can see things that I have achieved. I suppose that's actually probably a big thing for me, is looking at things that I have managed to do, and that's a way to visualise that, maybe. But yeah, maybe it will mean that I'm a little bit more organised. Maybe it will equal more content. Maybe it will equal more of a schedule. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. It's just something that I'm taking into the new year with me. Next thing I've got written down is focusing way more on my mental health, but I do think that that is reflected in some of my other goals. As I say, this year is the year that I had a bit of a breakdown, and I'm working on that, and I will be working on that. I've got plans that will be actioned heading into the new year. It's going to be kind of a constant thing for me, and after the year that I've had and some of the revelations that were made, it's definitely something that I need to focus on, and I'm not shying away from that anymore. I think I put it off for way too long. I never spoke about my mental health. It was always very much a sort of thing. Like, I'm fine, don't worry about it. And I joked about it a lot to myself, and it got to a point where I really needed to start taking care of myself and consider what's going on with me. And you probably have noticed that in the last half of this year if you've been watching my videos. I have been speaking about it more, I have been more open with it, and that's going to continue, and I'm going to continue to work on me. Other little goals taking into the new year is continuing the Read It likes. They are continuing. I have people lined up to do for those. They're really fun. I enjoy doing them. It's a way for me to branch out with my reading a little bit. I definitely slacked on them in the latter half of the year, but again, I had a crisis. But yeah, I'm excited to continue with those. Polathon, of course, will be making its comeback February, first full week of February. So I believe it's the 6th to the 13th, I want to say. 7th to the 13th, even. 7th to the 13th of February for Polathon. Follow at Polathon on Twitter for any updates, and there will be an announcement for that one coming soon as well. And finally, Patreon. I am really wanting to work on improving Patreon. I love my Patreon. I love my Patreon community. I love what we do. I love hanging out with those guys. There was an end of year feedback form that people have filled out on there, and I'm just really excited for the things to come, the things that I have planned for that. new types of content, experimenting a little bit more over there, but also just keeping up the content there as well. So pretty much they're my goals. Nothing extravagant, nothing too much, nothing too little. Taking care of myself, quality over quantity when it comes to my reading, but also just putting a bit more organisation and self-love into a lot of things too. Making myself feel a little bit better about what I put out and what I do with my time and what I can do. Take care of myself. Pump some passion back into areas of my life. Get excited about things again. And lower the expectation and the pressure, because that should really help me. But yeah, there we go. Quick video here today. A little bit faster paced, just to run through some things, but that's what you can expect from me going into the new year. No schedule, possibly more content, more organisation, bigger books, but maybe less of them. We'll see. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know what you think of my goals down below. If you have any of yourself that you would like to share, feel free to do that down below as well. But otherwise, give us a thumbs up. You know the drill. And I guess I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!